So My Hero Academia is now launched its seventh season. Um, First two episodes or so are out already. There's been a trailer for a movie that apparently comes out next month, which thought was kind of wild. I'm like, I remember seeing the one trailer and that was kind of it. And I posed this question in the group chat because I'm just kind of curious, because I feel like it's echoed throughout the anime community of when did we all just stop caring about My Hero Academia? Like, I know, for example, Jory, your thing has always been like the whole Ben 10 aspect when you started getting multiple powers. But when was it that like you were just like, I don't care about Midoriya and Bakugo and any of these characters anymore, despite having really strong seasons?
Ben 10. That's what killed it. Period. When he turned to Ben 10, Spider Shadow Man, Flash, uh, uh, yeah, that's what killed it. When he turned into Swiss Army, Swiss Army man, like that's what killed it for me. I was like, you know what? I don't care about this anymore. Um, Two, you also had one of the best character fights with Lemillion, and y'all
Mm.
just turned it into flash poses or whatever.
Slideshows. Yeah, a whole bunch of
Slideshows.
slideshows. Yeah.
Nah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man. And while One Piece is getting award-winning Disney level treatment for every episode, I said, "Kid, what am I watching, dog? This is
Mm-hmm.
One Piece." I said, "Like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, kid, are the people working in the studio actual? Are they okay? Are they okay? Are they fine?"
It's just the meme of them riding with a digital pad, just fires coming
I,
out and everything.
I feel like it's gonna look like a Tenmu shop, man. The Tenmu factory. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried, man. But
Mm.
yeah. Listen, My Hero Academia died when I realized when he had all those powers, everything died. Everything it just flatlined for me because I'm like, why do you need Spider-Man abilities?
Mm. Mm.
Why do you need you know what I'm saying? What else powers does he have? You know, that's gonna show up at random.
Yeah.
It was just like y'all couldn't give that Spider-Man power to the tape guy and make him useful. Like you had
Right.
all these interesting ideas and now you Naruto'd it. These are not the lessons you want to take from your forefathers, man. They weren't good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Yusuke's final transformation is not good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Was got the fact that Bleach certain seasons and choices that they did not make sense, right?
Yeah.
So
We've all
you're
said it. For
entering a
as excited as we are for the Thousand Year Blood War arc, we're not excited from a story wise.
Jujutsu Kaisen. What are the powers? What's the power scaling? What are we talking about here, man? How is Gojo stronger than Goku? How are these comparisons coming up? You know what I'm saying? Like when if Kakashi decided to teach one class in Jujutsu Kaisen, then boys is gone. All of
Mm-hmm.
them dead. You feel me? Like I'm trying to understand.
Mm. Tim, what about you? When did My Hero Academia like fall off for
Um,
you?
the power issues is not an issue with me because it kind of does make sense. Because, when you look at the base powers, all for one for all, they're basically, yes, they're stockpile quirks, but, you just, one is for evil, one is for good. Well, based on how the story is good and
Mm-hmm.
evil, always. The issue for me is whenever they establish a big three, and when all the other characters starts to fall behind in the waistline, that's the issues for me.
Mm.
I feel like, once they've established who these people were, it's just the remainder of your class is just extras, as Bakugo said in the earlier seasons. Get out of the way, extras. And I feel like, that's what hurt Naruto to me. Like it
One
was like
thousand,
after
one
the tuning
thousand percent.
exams, it's like y'all did not care about none of these people anymore.
The
And
best
what
arcs.
made Naruto even worse was they had a big two, not even three, big two, and it's just like
Forget Sakura. Forget
and we
Sakura.
saw how even even in the games how that has affected like impacted so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Trickle
Naruto
down effect.
Sasuke, Naruto Sasuke, Naruto
But but
Sasuke.
but but Tim, to your point, that's the same reason why I lost faith in Midori. He got the Rinnegan, the Sharingan, the Aramatsu. Midori, you feel me? It's like I don't care, kid. Midori, now you Flash, Superman, Green Lantern. You, yeah, and now and then at the same time, now you got Cyclops. You got Pyro fused with Iceman, right? How can he compete? You're not really big three, man. You feel me? And then you got Captain Falco from Star Fox Adventures, who got the craziest power. And y'all use none of these people interestingly. Then you had the dude with the calves with engine legs. Y'all don't use none of these boys
For
effectively.
anything.
Y'all just kind of, and I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, because like even yes, his the quirks that he's getting, like I understand them to an extent because you want to, because when you look at Midoriya before he got his powers, he was just a bland person. Now there's been many speculations that especially when you found out the doctor, the one that everybody goes sees as a kid, is an evil person, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently he
That was
steals
dope.
quirks.
That
Mm-hmm.
was dope.
So now people have said when the girl who reverses things touched Midoriya, there's been hints that maybe his original quirk was an energy quirk. Basically, how when people believe in him, he gets stronger. The whole hero aspect, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, if you believe in the hero, he has this almighty power that just he's able to just conquer the world. Cool, I understand that. So maybe he got his original quirk back, and then yes, remember it's still a stockpile quirk. So that means all the past users contributed something to him that he's going to inherit, that he locks through trauma, stress, whatever. Now I do feel like yes, some of them are a bit wonky. I
Very.
get that. I
Very.
do, but I don't think the stockpile quirk is pointless because we've seen the evil dude when he absorbed certain people and he was able to do this, do that. It was great.
No, it
I
was. It
just,
was. It
yeah, I
just was
just
cool when he
feel,
had it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just feel when it's on the side of good, bro, you got to make it interesting, bro. It has to
Yeah.
be interesting.
And
Mm-hmm.
another
Like,
thing,
like for example, a perfect example. The second protagonist from Infamous, he's basically rogue. He's
Mm.
basically rogue, and when he touches you, he's able to keep like a stockpile. So the first person he touched was Smoke, like Smoke and Ash. So he's like it's similar to pyrokinesis, but not really. The second person, Light Kizaru, like he absorbed a girl, neon light. He's shooting beams and beams and pew pew pew, and now he could go at light speed and all that other stuff. The second dude, Digital, basically Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to use video powers. And yeah, the last power that they kind of just shorted us out, Concrete.
Right.
So, like, yes, you made it interesting. And then each particular fighting style was very interesting. Like, for example, the smoke was more of like the Shoto middle ground type of thing. The neon was more like heavy energy power, but the not that much like destructive power. I would say everything was like precision. Precision. It was like the sniper going one. The video one was just flashy and destructive.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you had the concrete one, where it's like the heavy brute style, maul everything out the way. So
Right.
like, yeah, like I said, bro, when it comes to like the stockpile core, it had to be interesting stuff, and I feel like that's where they dropped the ball.
Where you felt like the choices for the extra powers just
okay,
weren't
I'll say this.
appealing.
This
Okay.
will be my last
Okay.
thing. The villain wasn't interesting. Nobody was better than Stain. Nobody was better than Stain, and the actual, because I'm sorry, he not doing it for me, man.
Who Was it Shigaraki is his name?
Shigaraki, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shigaraki's not it for me. Because now you got
Shigaraki,
this.
Shigaraki kind of reminds me of like a very unhinged Toby. Like if they fought Toby while he was like remember when he got that full Zetsu outfit and he was just like
Hmm.
rampage in person. That's who I feel Shigaraki is. Like I felt like if there was like a more mature version of him, it would have made more sense. Like, but I get what you mean by Stain, because Stain, he gives me that classic Zabuza vibe. Like, on this mission, we learned something very fundamental that is still with us.
Yeah, and he had an outlook on the world that spoke to the grays, right? Of like it's not just good and evil all the time. Because what happens when this happens and a hero fails? Oh, it gets brushed under the rug because they're a hero. Yeah, but this person is still suffering. Like Stain had like a philosophy where like, yes, he still did these things, but it walked this line of like gray morality of like, but I'm doing these things because no one else is addressing them. And that's even when he spoke to the whole thing of like, I only acknowledge All Might because All Might saw the gray and did his best anyway. You guys are ignoring this, and I'm going to show you
Hollywood,
something different.
Hollywood, Hollywood politics.
Mm. Mm.
And that's something that we see, in the live action, show of the boys. Like, the what is the real collateral damage of heroes? What is the
Mm-hmm.
politics?
Mm-hmm.
Like you realize there's marketing, there's toys, there's oh yeah, yeah, come on, Decker, we want you to do this commercial for us for the kids. And you realize like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That A Train episode, boy.
Yeah.
I
It's still
actually, yeah,
yeah.
dog.
still resonates with like wow.
My goodness,
Yeah.
dog.
For me, the My Hero fall off came once it became very apparent, even outside of the big three, that no one was going to affect the story anymore. Once it became everyone is just kind of a supporting chess piece for the clash between One for All and All for One, I'm like, I don't care anymore. Like to what Jory said is like when they did the whole Yakuza arc and the million kind of gets taken out the game in the slideshow anime, I'm just like, so you guys do not care about anyone who is not All Might adjacent at this
To be
point.
honest, bro, that fight when they did overhaul, when they went to that underground base, you know what that kind of reminded me of? The Sound
Hmm.
5. Like
Yes,
everybody got separated and had to have this big like you could not tell me Big Gum that was not Choji. Like
of
you could
course it
not tell
was.
me
Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. Of course it
It
was.
it gave me that heavy Choji transformation vibe.
That
My
fight
shield
was
becomes my
A
spear. Yeah,
one, dog.
all that was there. But that's what I'm
Yeah,
A
saying.
one.
Like, yeah, but that's when it
yeah.
was at its best because it set up these pieces of like, I get it, right? It's the same predicament that Bleach ran into, where it's like if you give somebody a certain power set, now you're locked into it, right? That's why every time we saw Byakuga, his Bankai was different because if it's just scattering blades, bro, this was in season 1. Now they're fighting Espada, and you're still scattering things into blades. Well, no, now you got to be able to trap them in a blade and turn the blade into a super sword and do all these things because it's just a certain power set. But that's because you only focus on these certain characters over and over and over again. And that's I feel like that's where My Hero Academia has gotten to, where it's like, bro, Bakugo has had the same finishing move since the first 5 chapters of the story, where he spins around and hits you with the explosion. It was cool the first 2, 3, 4 times, but when I'm watching the last arc and he's still doing it, it's like, bro, you're a non-factor. Midoriya is now reaching levels of punching hurricanes like Prime All Might. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Shoo, go away.
Yeah, and then they hinted this during the summer camp art, but they kind of just fumbled it. Like, they were considering people with quirks like how the X-Men were. Like a lot of people don't realize mutants, over the time, their powers evolve with them as they age.
Mm-hmm.
And Magneto, knew this as well. But it's just like with My Hero Academia, like it's just they just fumbled that aspect. Because like for example, in the X-Men world, Iceman is an Omega level mutant, the
Mm-hmm.
same level as Magneto and Storm,
Storm and
and
yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
said like on his Omega level, what his ice powers are able to do, like literally like them Zero captains, all of them got world ending Bankais, all of
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, I'm thinking a person like, you know, Shoto, like, all right, so you are literally the fusion of fire and ice. What does this mean down the line?
Who knows?
Or like Bakugo,
Because
like,
it never
yes,
gets
bro, you
explored.
have exploding sweat. Like, you're basically napalm or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. What does this mean?
Who knows? That's when I started getting.
Yeah,
That's why I started losing interest. I'm like, who knows? They've done the same things with these characters over and over and over and over. Oh,
Like,
Dobby and Shoto are related, but Dobby's technically better at fire because he blows blue flames, which burn hotter and burns himself. Oh, can Shoto do that? Well, no. Can the dad do that? No.
well, that part
What?
kind of does make a little sense because it's different types of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like remember, like I think they, because I think yeah, it was in Tomb Raider, a Rise of the Tomb Raider, where I think they called it Greek fire, but it was the
Mm-hmm.
blue flames.
Mm-hmm.
So like yes, like you know, it's a different grade of fire. Like you know, for example, you know maybe you know the dad is just like let's just say like all right, the dad like Inferno Quirk. I'm
Okay.
a blazing inferno.
Mm-hmm.
Like the moment that I come onto the scene, it's flame on, and then everything around me incinerates.
Mm-hmm.
Or just you know maybe with Shoto, maybe yeah I'm just like pyro. Like oh yeah I just turn it on and I have access to flames. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just pyrokinetic. I'm not an inferno. I'm not Greek fire. So like there's different categories.
Okay. I mean,
But
I could buy that.
But it's just like, yes, you know, but what does that mean down the line? What is the true progression of my power? Like, for me, I would think with Bakugo, let's just say, like, all right, you know, well, it's triggered by my sweat. Let's just say if I fling my finger and the sweat touches you, it explodes.
Right.
Or let's just say if I clap my hands that are sweaty, like yeah, it's the hot sun. What if I do this? Like, you know, like the gamma quake, like, oh, Bakugo
Mm.
splat.
Right.
What does all
Right.
of this mean?
The best showcasing we ever got of Shoto and his powers was in that movie. The movie that we all liked, the second My Hero Academia movie. He's fighting the wolf, and he
Yeah.
basically grabs him by the tongue and just immediately freezes him solid from the inside out. It's like, bro, I didn't even know you could do this, and it never happens ever again. No exploration, no in-depth control. Again, it's one of those things where it's like the other characters just became it became the Goku syndrome, essentially, of like everything is just kind of to support this one character. And like
and
Jory said, he is not that interesting. So by default, I just care less and
Yeah.
less and
And you
less.
know, but I do feel like, you know, the one thing that really does contribute to the fall of these things, it is the big three factor. Or
Mm,
once you main character syndrome, like once you
hmm
really start focusing on that, everything else like just kind of just falls to the wayside, man. It's very discouraging.
hmm
It really is.